A man in a white lab coat. In his 40s, I'd say. Could be a doctor. A man in a white lab. That's Mrs. Biber, I think. As far as I can understand it, she runs this place with a husband.
What can I get you, my boy?
Actually, I'm here to give you something. It's from Fuller in the photo store.
Psst. Hey, come over here. I can guess what this is about. The dirty old swine. I should have known. Vermin ain't so easy to get rid of. Tell him
You better tell him yourself. Whatever it is,
Claire! You gonna talk all day? The customers are waiting!
Get out of here and tell your boss he can go to hell.
Jeez. What the hell was that all about then? She sure didn't seem to be a fan of Fuller's. I got that much. And the guy in the kitchen, he sure wasn't supposed to see that she had mail. What would a 50s bar be without a jukebox? The world's just wonderful, and aren't we all so very happy type music? Just isn't my thing. They're supposed to represent something like portholes. In reality, they're glazed display cabinets. The rear panels of the display cabinets are painted blue. They both have underwater scenes with plastic fishes and lobsters on them. A big, ugly plastic lobster. Not particularly appetizing. The specialty is, of course, lobster. Like everywhere around here. I have to admit, they are pretty tasty. There's everything you'd expect from a diner. From breakfast and lunch, to coffee and cake, right up to dinner. Ketchup, mustard, mayo, salt, pepper, syrup, sugar... and a bottle of vinegar. There's not much left. I don't think anyone will miss it. I'll take some bread. Mrs. Biber won't mind. Great idea. Now I just need some salt, pepper, and oil, and then I can make a dressing. Dog biscuit flavor. No. Psst. Mrs. Biber.
Yes, what can I get you? All right, what is it?
I was just asking, what Fuller...
Listen, I ain't got the time, nor do I want to talk about that scumball. Bug off.
Psst, Mrs. Biber.
Yes, what can I get you?
I'm only the messenger. I've got no idea what's going on here. I can't stand Fuller either, but
But you still work for him, don't you? Making some nice dough. Problem is, it's not his money. It's... Oh, forget it.
Mrs. Biber? Can you tell me anything about Carrie? She's supposed to have killed herself?
Yeah, Carrie. She was a really sweet girl. Always ready to help, always friendly. She wanted to open a kindergarten here. There's not much in the way of childcare around here. Parents have to take their kids for miles to find a place. She was such a lovely girl. She still had her whole life in front of her.
I saw a photo of her in Fuller's shop window. She was really pretty.
If I'd only known. The poor thing.
How do you mean?
It's not important. Too late anyway.
A man in a white lab.
Hello? Young man! You're Darъn Майкълс, aren't you?
Yes, and you are?
Oh, excuse me. My name is Newhouse. I'm a doctor at the health center.
At the health center? You mean at the hospital out there?
Well, yes. We call it the Biddeford Health Center. We aren't just a hospital. We have yoga courses and cookery courses and...
And what do you want from me?
Yes. I know your mother, Darren. We had a date here this morning, to be more precise. Me and her. We wanted to hang up some pictures your mother painted in the health center.
Yes, and?
She's not there. She's normally always... She's always punctual, isn't she? This kind of thing never happens.
Look, I don't have a lot of time right now. I'll give her a call, okay? As soon as I'm back in the store. Maybe she's forgotten about your little meeting, Doc.
If you say so, but actually...
I gotta go. I'll call Mom later and tell her that you're waiting for her in the health center. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
How nice. That's stinking garbage, and I have no particular interest in it. How nice. A red, white, and blue string of lights. God bless America. A red, white, and blue. Burgers, fries, and drinks. What more could you need? A red, white, I haven't seen such an old bubblegum machine for years. Belongs to the diner. They do that whole nostalgia thing in there, too. No thanks. Jebediah Biddeford or something like that, I guess. Honestly, I've got no idea who that is. The city's founder, a mayor, a benefactor, what do I know? I find a lot of the buildings here in the center really big and swanky for such a small town. Especially the town hall. The city must have had money in the past. Perhaps on the back of successful whale hunting. Or maybe they did what we did in Boston in the 19th century. Made money out of selling ice. New England ice was shipped all over the world before we had refrigerators. That's the hospital. I was trying to keep myself out of there, and up until now, I was doing okay. That's the entrance to the police station. I never feel too good in the face of the state authorities.
He's sick. That disgusting pig.
What's going on?
Your lovely boss. Does he always try to grope his customers?
No, only the women.
That's not funny.
No, of course not. What can I say? Fulla's an asshole.
Well, he's never going to see me again. Darren, would you bring the photos to the hotel for me?
Of course. My pleasure.
Thanks, Darren. That's really nice of you. I'm staying at the Wild Coast, room number 5.
No problem. You'll have them this afternoon.
Thanks, my hero. See you later.
Huh. That's the guy from the diner. Is he following Angelina?
Hey! You're gonna gawk her ass right off. Whatever the bitch said, it's all a dirty pack of lies.
Sure.
Back to work! Hey, you got the package?
Yep.
Well then, give it to me.
How'd the photo shoot go?
Ah, shut up.
I only mean the young lady who...
That alley cat's gone, okay? No little goodbye kissy for little Darren. So now, get to work. The shelves here could use with a dusting and the gutter's leaky. And you still gotta take my mama's dogs for a walk. Go back to the post office again and ask if the new photo paper's already arrived. The mailman still hasn't brought a collection note. And the store could also do with a good sweeping.
He's cranky. I guess Angelina did a number on his ego. Nice job. Okay then. But before I start with all that stuff, I'd better give Mom a quick call and remind her she was gonna take the pictures to the hospital. And somehow I've gotta get a hold of the film so I can make some prints of Angelina's pictures without Fuller catching me doing it. Huh. Fuller. What can you say? A good reason to have doubts about humanity? I've only been working here a few days, and I've already given up hope that he might, just once, behave like a normal human being. This is probably the most stressful holiday job that I've ever had. Holiday job in a photo studio? Yeah, sure. Great stuff. Learn new things, earn some money. And the reality looks a little different. Fatter and more bald. Know what I'm saying? Excuse me.
What do you want?
The store's not doing too well, is it?
What's that got to do with you?
Nothing. Nothing at all. It's no doubt because of the vast competition here in Biddeford that nothing's going on here. I mean, what else could it be?
This is the only photo studio here.
That's what I thought. The package I picked up was jingling a bit. I hope there was nothing broken inside. What was in it?
It's of damn all concern to you.
Mrs. Biber was... Yeah, well, she didn't seem to be very pleased to get your letter.
So? Did you read the letter?
No, but she seemed to know what it was about.
I bet. It was a bill. Who's pleased at getting a bill?
Should I go and develop the pictures from the shoot earlier?
You should do what I tell you to do.
But I could do them now, and then you don't need to later.
You do your job, I'll look after the photos.
I have to get hold of the pictures somehow. They must still be in the camera. Excuse me.
What do you want?
Do you remember Carrie?
Which Carrie?
She was a customer of yours. Committed suicide almost 2 years ago. Dark hair, green eyes.
Why should I remember her? Do you think I remember every face that walks in this joint?
Yeah, well, there's a photo of her in the window.
So? What's it to you anyway? Do your work or I'll kick your ass.
These photo mounts are made of a kind of press card. You can stick photos into them to make them easier to hang. The drawback is that they can get easily dusty. I don't need any of them. It's rare that I even hang any of my pictures. On my first day, my friendly boss made it very clear to me that he kept an exact account of the amount of money in the till. A little hint that I shouldn't consider ripping them off. I'm not interested in the cash till. That's a light box for looking at slides and negatives. It works. The picture frames could do with being a little more professionally presented. But to be honest, they don't really deserve it. No wonder Fuller needs some distraction. You don't even get 5 customers a day in here. Yesterday, when I was tidying up the sales room, there were all these stupid afternoon talk shows on. It almost made me go crazy. Fuller's camera. The film with Angelina's photos on it was definitely still in it. But I haven't a clue how I'm gonna get the film out of it without Fuller noticing. I'll just have to try later. Fuller's camera. But I haven't a clue. I'm not gonna touch that thing again if I don't have to. I don't want to push my luck. A water faucet. If Fuller had a garden he wanted to water, he could do it from here. But in Fuller's garden, you'd get pretty well nothing to grow. Those are Fuller's dirty shoes for outside. In here, he wears other dirty shoes. If there was a garden outside and not just a garbage dump, I'd have guessed that Fuller wore them to work in the garden. There's clay and earth on the soles. Nothing interesting to see. A cheapo, old-time cuckoo clock. A testament to Fuller's fine taste for stylish interior decoration. I think Fuller took his mother on a world tour a few years back. Might be a kind of souvenir. Nothing stands out. Perhaps this little angular hole on the clock face. Is that how you wind it up? Hey, there's a small opening. I could easily fit my finger in there. Let's see. It seems to be a mechanism to wind it up. Behind it is a little button. I can't wind the clock up, but I can push this button. Nothing stands out. Perhaps... Should I go through Fuller's garbage? Well, that would mean going through the whole house. I don't think so. What have we got here? The US, Hawaii, something illegible, and Europe. Fuller's smeared half of it with his filthy paws. What have we got here? The US, a greasy map of the world. My World Tour is written next to it. A few places are marked. The USA around Utah, Arizona. Then over to Hawaii. Afterwards comes North Africa, possibly Egypt, then China, and then Europe. Looks like somewhere in Germany. A greasy map of the world. Nothing in the whole damn world would make me want to open this door. You've just got to have a look around here to get the impression of what it looks like in there. No. The fatso lives on coffee and burritos. That ought to make for an early death. Fuller ate a microwave burrito with, chili chocolate turkey filling yesterday. I didn't even know that kind of thing exists. But it does. A very old-fashioned safe. There's a logo on it. M.T. Schultz, Pittsburgh. Looks at least 100 years old. I find it hard to believe that Fuller hides anything of worth in there. He's more the paranoid type that wants to protect his telephone bill from prying eyes. It's locked. But I've seen how they open these things in those old classic gangster movies. It's locked. But I've seen how they open these things in those old classic gangster movies. I should call Mom first and remind her of a date with the doc. Strange that she didn't get in touch with him. She's usually so reliable. Huh. Seems like she's on the phone.
What the hell are you doing using my phone? While you're on the clock? I'm gonna take it out of your...
Yeah, whatever. Look, I just wanted to call my mother, but it was busy. It's not gonna make you go bust.
That broad spends the whole day on the phone, right? She already called up once while I was shooting that sweetie. Some drivel about Adrian in a mirror. I hung up. I got better things to do than listen to that kind of crap.
My mother called, and you didn't tell me?
The old lady's not all there in the head anymore, huh? Where you going? You're not on your own time yet.
Mom? Mom! Mom! Her heart's beating. She's alive. Mom, can you hear me? Mom! Nothing. But she's still breathing. Okay, think, Darren. I need an ambulance. Emergency? Yes. My name is Darън Майкълс. I've just found my mother. She's unconscious.
Take it to the hospital, but take it real easy. I'll be following in my car in a minute.
How does it look?
Difficult to say, Darren. She must have stumbled, and now she's got a serious head injury. Exactly how bad it is, We can only find that out in the hospital.
But how can she fall so badly that she...
It's not the time for that now. Was your mother taking any kind of medication?
I don't know. She always has a load of painkillers for her back. No idea.
Please, collect anything that looks like medication and bring it back to me in the hospital. What about allergies?
Not that I know about.
That's not good enough. Could you find out the family doctor's number? Perhaps get a hold of her medical records.
Yeah, I'll go look. I'll see you in the hospital.
Very good. Oh, yeah. And we need your mother's insurance card.
That too? Okay, please, can you hurry? Oh man. Medication, insurance card, med history. I better hurry. There are pictures of me and Mom in the cabinet. I can't see any pictures of my father here. Mom hasn't got many of him. I guess the memory of his death is too painful for her. When I was a child, I always wanted to know who my father was. Mom told me about him and finally showed me some pictures. That was the only time I've ever seen pictures of him. No, I haven't got the number from Mom's old family doctor. I can't even remember his name, to be honest. Dr. Mick, something. If I read his name, then it'll come straight back to me. When I was a kid, we used to always argue about how long I was allowed to watch TV. I used to be able to sit in front of that thing for hours. Now you couldn't get wild horses to drag me in front of one. I can count myself lucky the damn thing didn't completely frazzle my brain. It looks like Mom was having a cup of tea while reading, before she fell over. The cup is still half full. Why did she stand up and go over there? Maybe the phone rang? Maybe she got some bad news and fainted. That doesn't seem like her at all. That's Mom's medicine dispenser. There's a box for every day of the week. She always used to joke about it. She said that because of her back, she consumed more pills a day than a whole old folks' home. But she never took as much as she was actually prescribed. She always maintained that she'd just forgotten to. The old home doctor then gave her the dispenser at some point. I always found it rather stupid not to take your medicine, preferring to suffer in agony. That's gotta be most of the medication, but maybe she's got more somewhere else. I should check. Mom's into music. That's one thing we have in common, though our tastes are a little diverse. Mom's Beethoven doesn't mix that well with Nirvana or Pearl Jam. Mom's into music. Mom's handbag. All her papers must be in there. All right, I found the insurance card. There's nothing else of interest in there, and I can earn my own money. That's where Mom indulged herself. We had an ancient wood-burning stove at home that she used to cook on. She always said it reminded her of her time as a cook back in England. If I switch the stove on, then it's definitely not going to do the empty kettle much good. Mom would never forgive me. Being a cook, she was always very fussy about those things. If I switch the stove... Oh my god! There really is running water here. I never would have thought it. The kettle's full. My mother keeps her pots and pans and that kind of stuff in these cupboards. A few pots, a shallow bowl, plates, a tray. I'll take the bowl. The water will start to boil and steam. As I'm not much of a tea drinker, boiling water isn't much use to me. Mom's bathroom. Like her old place, nothing special. We weren't poor, but my mother was always modest. And by the looks of it, so is this place. I had a shower here this morning, and Mom laid on a huge breakfast. I ate some of it, for her sake. Back at uni, I usually don't eat anything in the morning. An old lighthouse. Underneath's a sign with Willow Creek written on it. Perhaps it's from the place in England where she lived. She first came to the US in her early 30s, after the accident. Aha, some medicines. Boxes, little bottles, tubes. I'll take it all with me. I think that's it. Toothpaste, face cream, no other medication in here. I had a shower here this morning, and Mom laid on a huge breakfast. I ate some of it, for her sake. I ate some of it. My mother's old bureau. That's where she keeps her letters and financial papers and such. I don't fancy poking around in there just now. My mother's old bureau. It's a beautiful lamp. Pity it doesn't work. Mom likes thrillers and horror stories. Mainly old stuff. Edgar Allan Poe and the like. Perhaps it has something to do with her time in England. She's often told me that she worked in a castle that could well have come straight out of one of these books. My mother's old bureau. A plant on the windowsill. No idea what kind it is. We've already just had a few days of warm, sunny weather back to back. It's supposed to get worse tomorrow. I think the furniture's still from her time in England. Quite old-fashioned, but stylish somehow. What do we got here? Handkerchiefs, a glasses case, an art magazine, a few Valerian draggies. Nothing I could use. A bedside table lamp with a paper shade and a ceramic base. Cream-colored. I think the furniture's still from her time in England. Ah, my mother's address book. I ought to find her doctor's number in there. My mother's insurance card. The hospital wants it, because it's not enough just being sick. Let's see. It won't open. It's got a leather strap running from the back to the front cover, and there's a lock on it too. I need a key. My mother's old bureau. Perhaps the bulb's gone. Mom watched whales with this telescope. This is a whale region. The whales swim past here twice a year on the route between Mexico and Canada. I can't turn up at the hospital without Mom's medical history. My mother's rough, leather-bound address book. Looks pretty well used. It's locked. A nice one. Quite classical. And it looks quite expensive for Mom's tastes. You can swivel the telescope on the tripod, and hey, there's a compass attached to the top to show the direction you're looking. A nice one. No, I haven't. If I read his... Mom's into music. My mother's old bureau. That's where she keeps her letters and financial papers and such. I don't fancy poking around in there just now. Looks like there's something under the flower pot. It's a little brass key. Yes, and that's got the address book open. Now then, what was that doctor called? Dr. Wakefield. That's him. And here's his number. I just hope he's still got my mother's old medical records. Hopefully the number's still okay. Dr. Wakefield, 555...
Dr. Wakefield's practice?
My name's Darън Майкълс. I have to speak to the doctor. It's an emergency.
One moment, please.
Dr. Wakefield speaking.
Hello, Dr. Wakefield. This is Darъn Майкълс.
Darren, is there something wrong with your mother? Mandy said...
Yes, she's been taken to the hospital. She's fallen over and taken a knock to the head. She's not responsive.
My God.
The hospital needs her medical history. Do you still have it?
Yes, we must still have it here.
Can you fax it over to the hospital?
Yes, of course. Hopefully nothing's happened to her back.
Wouldn't the support corset protect her?
Not necessarily. The corset supports her spine when she's standing up or sitting, but her back has been so badly affected since the accident that a fall can have repercussions.
I don't think I want to know. I'll just go down to the hospital and find out there.
Do that. I'll have the records sent to Biddeford. I
Yeah, me too.
Give her my best wishes as soon as she's awake.
I'll do that. See you later, Doc. Well, that's done. Dr. Wakefield has always cared well for Mom. With that back of hers, she could barely stand, sit, or lie down without causing her pain. And then she has the burns as well. And now this. I'll just get dressed and then go straight to the hospital. I hope she's all right. A coin-op telephone. It says out of order. Hello, I'd like to see my mom, Rebecca Michaels.
One moment. Your mother is still being examined. Have you got the medication with you?
Yes, here. Oh, and I've also got the insurance stuff. When can I...
Ah, thank you, thank you. I will tell Dr. Newhouse. Please take a seat for a moment. I will let you know when you can go in and see your mother. Excuse me, Mr. Michaels?
Yes?
There is a problem with your mother's insurance card. It looks like she didn't make the last payment.
I don't know anything about that, and I really don't give a damn.
Obviously, it's a little unpleasant, but the insurance...
Look, I don't give a damn about the insurance. What's happening with my mom? How long is this thing gonna take?
I'm sure you'll be able to see her soon. But if we can't clear up this thing with the insurance, then we've got a problem here. You'll have to... Okay, Doctor. You can see your mother now. The room at the end on the right. Mr. Michaels? I can't help it if your mother hasn't paid, or if the bank hasn't made the transfer, or if the medical insurance won't cover the treatment. Here, take the card with you and sort it out. In the end, your mother will be back on her feet, but she won't have a roof over her head anymore.
Thanks. How is she?
Not good, I'm afraid. The wounds to her head are quite severe. She must have fallen against the table with all her weight behind her.
Is she going to...
One should never give up hope. But your mother's in a coma, Darren. I'm sorry, but it's rather uncommon for someone to wake from a deep coma. Perhaps if she'd been discovered earlier, and there wouldn't have been so much bleeding in her skull.
You're saying that if I'd gone to her straight after our talk, then she wouldn't be here now, lying in a coma?
But my boy, you couldn't possibly have known.
Yeah, how could I have known? Fuller.
Sorry?
Fuller! She phoned the photo store. She wanted to speak to me and Fuller just hung up on her.
Wait, no, that's completely...
She was conscious and wanted help, but Fuller...
Darren, get a grip. It was an accident. No one's to blame, and you should just...
Just what? Simply sit here at the bedside and hope that she gets better? I can't barely believe that.
Darren! You must...
Thanks for your help.
We'll look after your mother round the clock, Darren. You're welcome to stay here. I'll pop in again later.
I'm not gonna stay here. I still have things to sort out. That fat bastard's gonna pay for this.